like the way I whip it up, I need another wrist. Look like the way I dip it down, I need another beat.
Brent, Reid, the Notorious sports critic for the sports fan, and I am back. I've been off for a long 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks. Last week, you had two repeats. Made a workout facility for the players, for both men and women, as they're playing in the same area. If you've seen the pictures, the men's workout facility is state of the art. You get it in, you get jacked, you can throw up 350, 900 times. Oh, man, grunt. Where the women's workout room looked like something from the 1920s, where there were like 2 dumbbells and like a pull-up bar. What? The NCAA has been tone deaf, in my opinion, through this whole pandemic. When the pandemic first started, instead of the NCAA taking the stance and telling all the schools either we're going to play or we're not, they left it up to the schools' hands, which seems to be a common theme in this country. When there's when there's a killing virus out there, we're just going to leave it up to individuals to decide whether or not they want to survive or not, versus laying down mandates across the land. Funny, I'm told I got to wear a seatbelt or I get a ticket. That's in every state. Funny, I'm told that I can't run a red light. That seems to be in every state. Everybody abides by that, but God forbid you tell an individual to put on a mask and you're telling them they live in Italy during World War II. Everybody uses Germany, so I don't want to go there. The point is, the NCAA itself has dropped the ball. Last year, when you told basically that it was okay for football to be played, but other sports, including women's sports, can't be played or shouldn't be played, or some even had to be canceled because they couldn't afford to keep it going, was basically a slap in the face and telling everybody that your sport doesn't matter, and the only sport that matters is the one that brings in the green. Now, I ain't that stupid. Money is king. Without money, you have nothing. But these are collegiate athletes. These are not professional athletes. You've given them the opportunity to continue. Some of them may not get a chance to play beyond this. There are a lot of players last year that was their last year and they did not get a farewell tour. Not every woman gets a chance to play in the WNBA, just like not every man gets a chance to play in the NBA. So fast forward to the March Madness. How in the blue hell did you think that workout room was equal in any capacity? Like, you basically just told all your women basketball players that they are nowhere in the same importance as the men. If that was true, that the women's March Madness was the same, ESPN would not take its time to broadcast it. Now, I know ESPN doesn't have the rights to the men's. They probably would prefer it. But the fact that the women's is broadcast means there is a market for it. As long as there's gambling, there's a market for it. Where you can't have that. You can't have this. Whoever put that in, whoever job, you know what? Let's back up. Let's have some fun here. Whoever the guy was who was hired just to worry about the workout facility, today should never be hired anywhere else again. Because he or she, and I'm assuming it was a he, is a moron. Like, clearly the dumbest person to ever live. Like, there's no way he showed up. Let's say he showed up on a Monday. His name is Bill. Nah, let's not call him Bill. Let's say his name is Donald, right? And Donald shows up, and he's like, and Donald's boss is named Fred, right? And Fred just goes, hey, Donald, your job is to make sure the men and women have a workout room. And Donald's like, all right. So for the men, we're going to have a place for them to lift weights. And for the ladies, they might as well install, should we put a kitchen and some brooms and vacuum cleaners? Because that's pretty much almost the exact same thing he did, is by not putting the same type of equipment in there. Interesting. So Donald puts all this together, does the men's, looks back at it and goes, man, that's fantastic. These boys are going to be in fantastic shape. And then he goes to the women's side. And then he puts in a dumbbell. He puts in a jump rope. He puts in, what's that game where, what's the game where they draw in the box and like they got the numbers in the box? You know what I'm talking about. I can't think of what it's called. And then he puts in some like, and then he just leaves a little note saying, this is where you do sit-ups. And then he just looks and goes, huh, I got a little extra money in my pocket because I saved a lot of money here. Oof, I worked hard. I deserve a milkshake. Donald, the guy who designed the women's locker room, looks like the type of fool that went for a milkshake after. I need a milkshake, not a beer, because a guy that drinks a beer is smart and would have known to make it equal, where this dumbbell gave the women a workout room for an infant. The NCAA, it's time for a change throughout the entire NCAA leadership. I believe it's time that the NCAA includes students. Like how you have, you vote like a class president. The NCAA should have one, like each school should have one student representative in the board of the NCAA just to get a voice from somebody that was born before the dinosaur period. Like, they need to have that. I'm not saying young people are the answer, but they're student athletes. Why not have students involved? The next chapter, you call everybody, you call them adults. I say you vote one person from each college to give a fair assessment and a balance and have an extra voice in the room from people of the age that are playing and participating and know what's going on. Now, if it was pro sports, it'd be a different argument. Anyway, Candace Parker and Shaquille O'Neal got into a little squabble the other day. And twice they've gotten into a squabble. And I'm noticing something about Candace Parker feeling like, okay, take away from Candace, all right? Who was anybody that works in TNT outside of Charles Barkley, outside, really to argue with a four-time NBA champion, league MVP, one of the most dominant individuals to ever play the game? Now, Shaq's first argument was, he said, teams don't play defense the way they used to, where you showed on screens, you had hard hedges, you made sure it wasn't an easy shot. Their argument, Dwayne Wade and Candace Parker's argument was, well, guys can shoot threes. Players always can shoot threes. You telling me every team in the league shoots threes at a high percentage? Are you literally sitting here telling me, first of all, if you play defense the way it was taught many moons ago, and you really crack down, you apply pressure, full court pressure, you tire people out, you give them a little rub here and there. If you work them the way, instead of just running down to the end of the court and allowing the guy to do a set shot, because that, if you pay attention, they do give them the opportunity to take a set shot. Like, there's no, like, I know you can't touch a guy, but there's no type of interaction. Like, there's nobody's hit. The last great defensive player we saw was Bruce Bowen. It ain't Draymond Green. Trust me, it ain't him. It was Bruce Bowen. Bruce Bowen got in your soul. When you watch Bruce Bowen go against Kobe Bryant, Kobe had to work for his shots. When you watch Steph Curry, Damian Lillard, Devin Booker, when they go for shots, there's nobody on them. So don't give it. So there's a handful of guys that can hit some of them 3-point ridiculous shots. For the rest of the league, ain't nobody hitting them shots. Not consistently enough. I'd rather give up that long-ass 3-point shot from the other end of the court. Take it. It's still a bad shot. Don't give me this because some nerd says analytically it's the best percentage for you to score because if you hit it, it's more points. Really? No fooling. No fooling. Hey, if I drive 10 miles faster than the other person, guess what? I got a chance of getting there quicker too. Also got a chance of getting a ticket. So And then Shaq basically went and was saying what could help the WNBA grow. Something I said a long time ago: lower the rim. Because there are women that can dunk and can dunk fantastically, but they can dunk on the 9-foot goal. They can't dunk on the 10. It's just that different. There's no offense to that. It's not an insult. It's not a slight on them. In women's tennis, the court size is different. The rackets are different. In softball, the field is different. The bats are different. It's a shorter field. There's other sports where the size and the difference of the playing field. Oh, golf, thank you. Golf is different. Women's golf and men's golf, totally different. Men tee off from one, women tee off from another. Different ranges, sizes, and everything. Doesn't make one less than the other. It just makes the playing field a little easier, or it makes the playing field more competitive, if that makes any sense. If you start seeing women dunking in the WNBA, I guarantee it, eyeballs will be like, oh, can you imagine watching a WNBA game, somebody come down the lane and just bang it? See, Brittany Griner, So Candace's argument was her daughter is going to be the first one to do a drop step dunk. Well, I hope she is, because I can't wait to see it, because I think that would be impressive, and I think the next megastar in the WNBA, we're less than a generation away from that player who's going to be that transcendent player for both men's and women's basketball. But right now, she's not here, and you need to make it where you get revenue. It's all about the almighty dollar, and if ain't no revenue, I don't give a damn how good you are, ain't nobody watching. They need the revenue because they need to get their players paid so they can stop going overseas, and they can now stay home. Like, it's simple. Draw in the money, people will watch. And I say shorten the season, because the season's too damn long. Hey, thanks for watching this latest episode of Downright Sports Radio here on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel if you really enjoyed today's episode. But if you want to listen to the show in its entirety, including music, and especially music from upcoming independent artists, listen to it at Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Google Play, Anchor, and Spotify, and subscribe as well. Also listen to the show live on DynastyRadioNY.com every Thursday at 8 o'clock. Your number one source for hip-hop, R&B, and soul. Except for on Thursdays, where it's your home for everything sports. So tune in, become a friend, listen, watch, subscribe, hit us up. There's all kind of places we are, because everywhere we go and everything we do, it's always Showtime.